Well, the New Hampshire primaries are looking a little different than expected. Former President Trump and Nikki Haley are the last ones standing for the GOP presidential nomination. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, as you've heard, dropped out of the race yesterday. So what does this mean for the New Hampshire primaries and beyond for Republicans? Here to break it down for us is Republican strategist Pat Brady. Thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate this. Okay, my first question is twofold. Any surprise that DeSantis already got out, and what happened to his campaign?
Yeah, not surprised at all, because he had a horrible finish given the time he spent in Iowa a week ago. So I'm not surprised he dropped out. And I think the timing doesn't surprise me either, that he did it the way he did it, because these campaigns, when you do a presidential campaign, you tend not to take care of your home base. And he's been out of Florida a long time. He wasn't going anywhere in this race. I think he realizes that if he didn't quit, get out and support Trump, that he might catch a far-right somebody run against him next time he's up for governor, and it preserves his ability to run for president. In 4 years, he's only 44. I mean, he's a child compared to the two.
Exactly. Isn't that the truth? Okay, so let's talk about how does this impact Donald Trump and Nikki Haley? Who's going to benefit from this?
Probably, if you look at the polling, most of those voters, are 60% or so, will probably go to Trump or not show up. Only a third, or maybe 40%, will come out for Haley. But they all kind of lined up. Ramaswamy, DeSantis, all these guys got out. Tim Scott, and endorsed the former president, which helps him. But again, New Hampshire's 45% of the voters are independent, not Republican or Democrat, so that's where the game is won.
So let's see if the independents come out and who they end up voting for. Okay, so DeSantis got second place in New Hampshire, so I think that's confused a lot of people.
Iowa.
Right, excuse me, in Iowa.
Yeah.
He got second place in Iowa, and you know, he drops out before this next race. A lot of people are saying, okay, what does Nikki Haley need to do to stay in this race now? Does she have to beat the former president? Does she have to come in a close second? What's going to happen?
I think she has to have a single-digit loss, 5, 6, 7 points. Then she can move on to South Carolina, which isn't for 4 weeks. That's her home state. So I think that keeps her in the race.
Okay, which is interesting. Let's talk about South Carolina, because that is her home state. Governor there. A lot of people say that's Trump country.
Well, it is. The party's Trump party. It's a very conservative state, but she was a very popular governor, two-term very popular governor down there. So that should be good for her. But it is. It's very, very, very Trumpy. The reality is the party's Trumpy, and the Nikki Haleys, who are conservatives but aren't necessarily Trumpy, have a tough time.
Okay, so if New Hampshire doesn't quite turn out to be the way she wants it to be, does she have the money and the backing and the funding to keep going?
Yes, she does. Then that's DeSantis' problem. He just didn't have it. All the big donors got in with him early. His campaign was really kind of a bust, and they all pulled out a couple months ago and went to Haley. So she's got enough money. Super Tuesday, I think that's March 5th, is the big day.
Okay, and you know what? We haven't been talking too much about the Democrats, because they're not involved in this.
Yeah, which, if you're a Republican, the Democrats have a lot of issues, a lot of split between the Bernie Sanders wing and the more traditional kind of Chicago Democrats. But they've got some issues that are tailwinds for them, like the vice president's up in Wisconsin today, which is going to be a key state, talking about abortion. That is a bad issue generally for Republicans in a general election. So you're right, we haven't focused on them at all, and there's a lot to focus on. But, you know, if you got Trump in the room, he takes all the oxygen out of the room. But the bad news, Trump has been a bust for Republicans other than him. I mean, the years he's been here, we keep losing and losing and losing. In Illinois, he's been a disaster. So it looks like we might get him again. But, man, we got to figure out a way to get voters back that left the party because of him.
Okay, Pat Brady, always appreciate you coming in.
Anytime, Sylvia. See you.